Hello students, welcome to the class. Lesson 2, Social Relevance of Advertising and its Role in Communication and Marketing. Introduction. Advertising has become a pervasive part of our lives. From the ads we see on the television to the ones we come across online. It is necessary to understand the impact of advertising on individuals and the wider community so you can make an informed decision about how and where to spend the marketing budget. Objectives. Role of advertising in society, importance of advertising to society, advertising and marketing. Role of advertising in society. Advertising is a form of communication that typically aims to persuade potential customers to purchase or consume a product or service. While some critics argue that advertising is harmful to society, it can also be argued that advertising plays an important role in our economy and society. Advertising helps businesses promote their products and services, which can lead to increased sales and profits. Additionally, advertising can raise awareness about important issues and products, and it can persuasively communicate messages about social issues. Some opponents of advertising argue that it is a waste of resource and that it contributes to consumerism and materialism. However, others argue that advertising is necessary for businesses to compete in today's economy and that it can be used to promote positive messages about social issues. Role of advertising in society is a critical component of any society, as it allows businesses to generate revenue, which in turn fuels economic growth. Advertising also allows businesses to reach new customers and promote their products or services. Social changes. Social changes are happening in the business world, and it is important for organizations because the products of business organizations have to be sold to society, and their consumption keeps the organizations as a going concern. Social changes factors. Contacts with other societies and social organizations, changes in the ecosystem and the environment, and the consequent depletion of natural resources or loss due to widespread diseases over which society has no control. Social changes have taken place due to industrial revolution and dispersion of population and changes in occupations. New social groups and demographic variables have been created due to technological innovation and growth and dispersion of population due to industries. Social changes have spurred demographic differences, ideological, economic and political movements. The impact of advertising on society is vast and has been the subject of much debate. There is no doubt that a significant role is in shaping our society. Positive side, advertising also plays an important role in promoting social causes and messages. For example, public service announcements about the dangers of smoking or the importance of voting can help to raise awareness and encourage positive behavior change. Negative side. Advertising can be used to exploit people's fears or vulnerabilities, and it can be used to sell products that are harmful to people's health or well-being. Advertising criticism. Advertising is not free from criticism, and many people feel that advertising is a waste of money, which subsequently is transferred to the consumer, leading to a high cost for the advertised budget. Advertising leads to higher prices. Many hold the view that advertising leads to higher prices of goods. Advertising involves considerable expenditure. If that expenditure is avoided, the cost of goods may be reduced and the consumer can get the product at a cheaper price. Advertising leads to monopoly. It is well known that large business firms establish brand image through advertising. Consumers develop brand loyalty, then it becomes difficult for new producers to enter the market. In other words, advertising enables the existing large producers to block new competitors from entering the market. Thus, advertising acts as a barrier to entry and thereby leads to monopoly. Advertising results in inefficient resource allocation. Advertisements are intended not so much for the benefit of consumers. They are mainly directed to influence the consumer demand to fit whatever has been produced. In other words, advertisements are aimed mainly to change the tastes of people so that they will buy whatever is manufactured. This leads to distortion in consumption expenditure and increases the producer's market power. In this process, productive resources, that is land, labor and capital, may not be used in the best interest of the society. Advertising causes undesirable social effects. There are certain other criticisms about the social effects and cultural impact of advertising. Consumers are exposed to hundreds and thousands of product appeals which they may not be able to buy and enjoy. This may create frustration and disappointment in many cases. B. Advertising is used for promoting objectionable and harmful goods like cigarettes, liquors, etc. C. It influences the values and lifestyles of people. Often, it is used to promote products that satisfy the materialistic requirements of consumers. Advertising is thus accused of promoting materialistic values in the society. Advertising may act against the freedom of press. Mass media earn huge incomes from advertisements. If the media are dependent on income from advertisements sponsored by a few large business firms, it may be difficult to disseminate information in public interest when it is unfavorable to those big business firms. Big sponsoring firms can threaten the media owners by refusing their advertisements and dictate what media have to do. Most advertising is bad in taste. If advertisements speak the truth, then we Indians smell worse, suffer from dandruff, colds, indigestion and bad teeth more than any other people in the world suffer. Movie advertisements are considered repulsive by even the most liberal people. Advertisements are noisy, ill-timed and sometimes even stupid. Advertising appeals mainly of emotions. It is felt that advertising is less rational, objective and more emotional. Objectionable appeals like sex, horror, etc. are used in advertisements to attract the consumer's attention. Advertising is a source of discontent. This argument claims that if it were not for advertising, we would be less aware of the material things around us in the world and would therefore feel more content. Advertising influences media. Since advertisers provide a major source of revenue for the media are likely to be influenced by the former. This financial dependence of media on advertisers can curb the freedom and autonomy of the media. With the result, media will disseminate the kind of information the business wants to disseminate rather than provide information in line with the public needs. Advertising benefits. Advertising has also a brighter side, and it is important to weigh the pros and cons of advertising before taking a decision for developing a campaign and its overall impact on the society. It leads to an increase in sales volume. This increase in sales volume leads to a higher rate of production, which in turn may lead to economies of scale, resulting in a lower cost per unit. Further, in the absence of advertising, the company would be spending more money on other expensive means of promotions such as personal selling and sales promotion. Advertising helps in easy introduction of products in the market. It helps to establish direct contact between manufacturers and customers. Middlemen, particularly wholesalers and retailers, derive the following benefits from advertising. 1. It is easier for them to sell products because consumers are of the product and its quality through advertising. 2. The product reputation which is created through advertising, wholesalers and retailers alike. 3. It enables wholesalers and retailers to acquire product information. Advertising is beneficial to customers in the following aspects. 1. Advertising stresses quality and very often prices. This forms a guarantee to customers. Furthermore, large-scale production assumed by advertising enables the seller to reduce the production cost and sell the product at a low price. 2. It helps the customers to know where and when the products are available. This reduces their shopping time. 3. It produces an opportunity to customers to compare the merits and demerits of various substitute products. Modern advertisements are highly informative. It is perhaps the only means through which consumers come to know about varied and new uses of products. As a whole, also derives the following benefits. 1. Advertising leads to large-scale production, thus creating more employment opportunities. It assures employment opportunities to advertising professionals, that is artists, copywriters and so on. It starts as a process of creating more wants and their satisfaction result in higher standard of living. Advertising has made more popular and universal a number of inventions such as automobiles, radios, TVs and other household appliances. Newspapers would not have become so cheap and popular if there had been no advertisements. It is the advertising revenue that makes newspapers thrive. Advertising need not necessarily lead to a monopoly. It is quite possible that new entrants with better and new products have a better chance of acceptance by the consumers. Advertising plays a great role in marketing. The significance of advertising is felt by looking at the amount of money that is being spent for promoting products, services, ideas, concepts and personalities all across the world. Advertising, market communication. There are various products available in the market in different categories and different brands with varied proposition in the same category. So it is necessary to provide information to the consumers about the products. Advertising plays this communicator role to the consumers. As the economy becomes more complex and dimensions of competition undergoes change, advertising's role changes and has a strategic significance in developed economies. Advertising plays a major role in connecting the manufacturer to the consumer. and providing services and new product ideas from producers to consumers. Advertising is a reminder to the existing consumers, and it aims at cultivating new prospects also. So it is perceived as an effective medium with the target audience. As more and more consumers start using the product, advertising expands the market and hence the industry, leading to growth in the overall economic environment. It also helps in developing new market segments and identifying buyers for new products. Products such as the Sony Walkman and Apple iPod represent the phenomenon in which a product redefined a consumer need by creating a highly functional object that was socially invaluable. In both cases, competitive products quickly met or exceeded the same functionality. As with the Walkman and iPod, the need for a product to be used can be actual or subjective. Millions of little children think that a Barbie doll is an absolute necessity. Millions more are equally interested in Hot Wheels. Neither toy is essential to the child's immediate health needs, but both product lines are highly relevant to the happiness of the children and the social norms of gift giving for birthdays, Christmas or Diwali. Many other cars and other toys are less desired because they have not captured the children's imagination or at least the attention of the purchasing agents, parents or those who make the buying decision for toys. As such, these products are less socially relevant because children want the real present, not a generic substitute. The subjective benefits of Barbie and Hot Wheels may come from the advertising, which shapes the attitudes of the children and the buyers who purchase for them. Product promotion. They provide product promotion to inform the public that new products and services are available. The world may be at a path to find the better mousetrap, but the public must first know about the new device and where to find it. Marketing and advertising identify attributes of the new product, provide specifications, and assist purchasers in finding the product. Social relevance. Marketing and advertising highlight the social and subjective relevance of a product or service. The marketing and advertising can play a significant role in creating social relevance for product. If the product is objectively relevant, then advertising needs to do less of the work. The subjective relevance applies both to the product category, for example, water, or to the particular brand in a product category that is already relevant. In the bottled water example, the water itself is essential. Advertising and marketing serve to make bottled water subjectively relevant by emphasizing the purity of the bottled water and the potential problems with tap water. Each company's marketing also serve to make that company's product stand out as more socially relevant than its competitors. Trademarks allow the companies to have exclusive control over their brands. All of these ads ignore the properties of the product themselves. Instead, they focus on the emotional or subjective impression of the relevance of the product. The ads cannot make the soda taste different than it actually tastes, but they can change the consumer's attitude. Toys are always socially or subjectively relevant. Within the broad category of toys, however, popularity and subjective relevance varies from season to season for different classes of toys. Some years feature classic board games, while others feature electronic gadgetry. Within the vortex of these broader trends, Each particular new toy struggles to gain a foothold into the market because all efforts to introduce a new toy must come from the marketing and advertising. Toys based on these underlying products are far more likely to be perceived as must-haves than toys based solely on the advertising of the new product or worse, just the product itself. For toys, of course, there are two different audiences that must be motivated by the social relevance. The manufacturer must please both the purchaser of the product and the ultimate user or consumer of the product, the parents who purchase the toys and the children who play with them. As a result, the manufacturer must meet the subjective needs of both the adults and the children. Products for children, pets and aged seniors are the most obvious examples of products with split audiences. Perhaps the largest provider of services to a split audience is a college or university. The user is the student, but the parent is an essential participating consumer. Historically, the marketing of medicine was subjected to this split audience. Formal Federal Drug Administration policies prohibited pharmaceutical companies from marketing to consumers. The experience of the pharmaceutical industry suggests that markets with split audiences may not do as well as those with a single audience. An alternative lesson is that the pharmaceutical companies now market to both the doctors and the patients, whereas they had previously been barred from half of the split audience. To effectively design products, the market segments and the social relevance should be incorporated into the project design itself. In addition to the marketing of the product, there are many production decisions that will enhance relevance, and these should be identified by market segment as the product is being created and reassessed as the product is marketed and branded. In addition to increasing the risk of heart attack for the regular users, the drug had roughly the same effectiveness as ibuprofen, a safer, inexpensive, over-the-counter painkiller. Vioxx should have been marketed for the small segment of the public that cannot handle the stomach upset of the ibuprofen, not as a replacement for the over-counter drug. However, the heavy advertising of Vioxx created a social relevance for the drug that the readily available ibuprofen did not have, allowing Vioxx to gain market share. The conclusion of the Vioxx story is a strong reminder to the entrepreneur regarding the long-term strategy needed by manufacturers. Despite the initial success of Vioxx, the risks associated with the creation of an advertisement campaign that exceeds the product are very high. In accord with the premise that you cannot fool all the people all the time, an advertising campaign which ignores the realities of the product will inevitably fail, and often creating far more harm for the business than the temporary benefit received. The entire concept of advertising and marketing revolves around customer demands, which are a result of their wants, which themselves are the product of human needs. Marketing is a process of ascertaining consumer needs, converting them into products or services, and moving the product or service to the final consumer to satisfy certain needs. Advertising play a major role in connecting the manufacturer to the consumer, in providing services and new product ideas from producers to consumers.